So what's up? Live, do some racket assembly. Not gonna be so exciting, so stop by if you feel like for a bit, but don't feel pressure to hang out too much. We'll get going. All good, all good. MLTT draft was today. We'll talk about that a little bit. Also some other MLTT news possibly. Give me a second to get set up. Alright, so I'll start messing around with some stuff. We'll look at different things. And that's that. Alright, so if you watched the other assembly stream, I assembled this before. This is the Yasaka Sweden Extra with sanwei T88 rubbers on both sides. I didn't hit with it too much, but I played with it against the return board, and I wasn't so happy with this combination. I don't think this blade and this rubber goes together so well, so I'm going to take this off and switch it. One of the Fextra blades I have just to test it out, because I think T88 rubbers and that Fextra blade will work better because it's a 7-ply blade, so it's a little stiffer, has a little more pop. This is a little bit kind of slow, and these rubbers are definitely slow, kind of control spinny rubbers, so I think that'll be a better combination, and you can see the things line up pretty well. So let's check that out. So this is the Sanwei Fextra 7-ply blade. All right, you can get it off AliExpress. It's like 22 bucks. I think Megaspin's not too much more, so those are both good options. It's pretty bright in that light. You can see pretty reflective, so watch your eyes. Put your glasses on. So it's a 7-ply blade. I showed it on here the other day a little bit. This one's got a straight handle. I also have it in flared handle. Maybe I'll show you that in a second if you're interested. So this is a straight handle, obviously, right? It's rectangular. It's like this. I really like this Fextra blade. It's a good deal. If you have the time, you can order it off AliExpress, and if you can assemble your own stuff. Hi there for NNH. Thank you for saying hi. I appreciate it. I like those paper clips. Looking good. And so here's the straight handle blade. It's a 7-ply blade. Let's see if you can see it up close. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, look. Almost had it. Okay, 7 plies. That means there's 7 sheets of wood there glued together. Whereas with this one, it might be easier once I take the rubbers off. But look, this is a 5-ply blade. Yasaka Sweden Extra. My camera's not enjoying that. All right, almost there. That one's got 5 plies. I can see the fan is like rotating around, making a strobe light effect. I'll turn that off for you, even though it's kind of a nice breeze, but no worries. I don't like that look. So I'll take these rubbers off of this one and put them on this one just to test them out. You can see the blade face are pretty close. You can always kind of test them out. Like, you can't look at them exactly, but think like this. All right. So this shows me that the rubber is tall enough, let's say, to switch over, right? Because it goes all the way to the handle here, and it goes here. You want me to weigh the blades? Jackal? H. Jackal? My name's Paige. P-A-G. P-A-G-E, like, okay, never mind. Forget my name. Forget he asked. I appreciate it, though. Yeah, you want me to weigh the blade? All right, let's weigh it. We'll weigh all this stuff. Where's my scale? Oh, it's over there. I can see. I knew I bought this scale for a reason, right? I knew people like the weight, the blade weight, so let's look at it. And I'll get the flared one, too, right? So we can weigh both. Let me guess. Any guesses for the weight? I was guessing the weights last time, and I was really bad, so it's kind of embarrassing, right? It's better if other people guess also, so we can all be wrong. All right, so we'll weigh this one first. There's no rubbers on here. It's never been glued, so it's fresh out the box. I'm still getting used to the best way to weigh these things. Hello. 90 grams? All right, that's a good guess, I think. Let's think. I asked for... Okay, you make that guess, but I'll tell you this. I asked the AliExpress seller to send me a lighter blade. Not the lightest or not a specific weight, but I asked him to choose light blades for these two since I was giving them to people. So are you sticking with 90 grams? I give you 10 seconds. 90 grams is a good guess. I don't want to make you change for no reason. That actually might be a better guess. Let me think. I'm going to guess I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go 88 grams. All right, nice round number, literally and figuratively. All right, let's look. Oh my gosh, that was pretty good. 88.79. So I give you credit for being really close guessing with no previous info, right? 90 grams. You're about as close as you can get. You're only 1.21 off. Okay, very good. Wow, I'm impressed with your guess. That thing's still figuring itself out. So 88.8. Oh, now we're talking, right? I can just leave it on there for a while. That's a nice number. Anyway, very good guess. Credit to you. I asked for the lighter one. So here, I'll go get the flared handle one. Let's look. Do you think the flared handle one's going to be the same, lighter, or different? Maybe a little lighter because the handle seems a little smaller. One sec. Here's the flared one. So I got two of these blades because I think these are really good blades as far as the price and the value they offer. And also we sell them at Mega Spin, so I want to test them out with these rubbers. Okay, so you think flared will be heavier? All right, maybe you know more about it than I do. So anyway, here's the flared one. This is the one I'm gonna put together with some rubbers to give to my friend. We play VR together, so I want to give him a real racket. I'll show you his new adapter he sent me. So I'll give him a racket. But I'm not gonna assemble this one today. I want to make sure I like these T88 rubbers on this blade. So here's the flared handle, real quick to show you the difference. This was straight, obviously rectangular, flared at the base. Easier to hold in your hand, all right? And straight's a little easier to switch around if you twiddle and things. All right, so any guesses for the weight of this one? I'm gonna go with, see, I have the benefit of being able to hold them. They're pretty similar. I'm going 88 again. It didn't fail me the first time. It's not gonna fail me the second time. All right, let's see. 88 is my guess again. Any more guesses? Is that a number or a smiley face? 90 grams. Okay. All right. We're sticking with our same guess. I respect it. I respect your first guess and I respect the second guess not changing it. You got to go with your gut sometimes. One sec. Oh, wow. Look at that. You're only 0.11 off. Incredible. Yeah, good job, Oblivion, too. Look at that. 89.86. Oh, wow. If I had an award to give you, I'd give you that award for guessing the weight. Right? That's pretty impressive. I would think maybe you made the blade yourself, right? Maybe you're the blade maker and you just haven't told me yet. You waited before you sent it to me, right? That's unlikely, I think, right? So credit for those good guesses. Actually, like I said, my first guess 88 was kind of based off your 90 gram guess anyway, but obviously you and I both know kind of the average or the range of weights for these blades. So very good. 89.83. Yes, Oblivion, you did very well too. I like this 89.89. I like that 88.8. Let me know if I'm talking way too loud into the microphone or not, or if it's an okay volume. I'm kind of right next to the phone here, right? So, all right, like I said, this blade, I'm going to assemble for my friend at some point, but first we're testing the T88 rubbers on this blade first. Because then, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that blade. This blade is going to get at least, one side's going to be the short pips rubber that I like. I already tested on it before from 729 Friendship. It's short pips 802 40 Mystery 3 2.2 millimeter sponge. It plays really well on this blade, plays well on other things. It's supposed to be like the short pips rubber that's easiest to use for inverted players switching over to. That's why I got it originally, right? So eventually I'm going to put a short pips rubber on one side of this. Then either I would leave one of these T88s, but I'd probably put something else on it. We'll see, just to have it around. All right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that a lot, Oblivion. Frequency meter app. No, but I've heard about that, so maybe that's something I have to do too. Right now I'm recording on my phone, so I won't do the app and test that, but maybe that for a new stream I'll find a way to use that. So if you have one that you recommend for that at all, let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for saying that, Oblivion. I appreciate it. I'm trying to it's going to be a slow stream, right, because we're assembling, it takes time, this and that, but I'm happy to talk and chat. Okay. Yeah, so I can't do it right now, I don't think. Or I'm not going to say I can't, right? Maybe I could, but I don't think it's happening at this exact moment. Right now, we're going to weigh some stuff, assemble some rackets. But future stream, I'll literally go rank a note of this real quick. Frequency. Frequency. Oops. I think there's a techno song where they say frequency a lot. You could check it out. I can't play the music though. I wish I could play music on here. All right, anyway. Sooner or later, I'm going to get to assembling something on here. I always say that you should have a non-cluttered desk, but here we are. And also, somehow I'm going to get over this reach issue I have here. Anyway, those plans. Yeah, you can hear the sounds. I need more musical people around me to add. Okay, so this is the Sanwei Fextra 7. It's a 7-ply wood blade by Sanwei. Here. It's a great blade. That's why I'm using it, because it's a very accessible blade. Like I said, on AliExpress, you get it for around $18, $20. Megaspin, you get it for a little more. But if you're in the US, then you can get it assembled with other stuff on it. So that's a good deal, I think. That's why I'm testing out this combo, so I know if I can recommend the Fextra with the T88 to people, and if it works well, I'll give it to my friend on the flare blade. All right, ready? Straight handle. Flared handle. Look at that. These things, I mean, like I'm saying, these are $18, $20, but honestly, the quality on these Fextras is really good. I'm pretty sure these are the older models, but I don't know for sure. I know they made some adjustments. Or not, they didn't change the blade itself, but maybe I don't know, the name of it on the site as far as how you buy it, or maybe a little different color on the handle or something. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure these are the older ones, because they look just like the other ones. Or maybe one's older one. I don't know. Anyway. Was that enough frequency? Okay, 1335. Well, that's pretty good, but we got to get two more, right? Like 1337. What do I have to do to get that number to 1337? Is there anything I can do in my power to make this elite frequency? So I can transmit the eliteness to you? But anyway, that's a good readings. You guys are like scientists, right? Are you guys in a lab somewhere? Just measuring the frequency of blades and weighing them? Anyway, okay. 2 blades. Flared one's going back in the box for now. What's in the box? Just kidding. Anyway, so we're gonna get to the assembly at some point, I promise. But we are gonna use Revolution 3 glue today, I think. Or maybe you want me to do like a couple with Revolution 3 and some with Geo glue, and we can compare it. That'd be kind of fun. Fun for... I'm not sure who it'd be fun for. What do you think? Assemble them all with Revolution 3, all with Geo glue, all with nothing? What? Rubber cement? I do have some rubber cement, but I don't assemble the rackets with rubber cement. But I started using the rubber cement to put the return board rubbers on because it sticks better. Okay, here's the Geo glue. I don't really like it so much, but it works fine. It dries quicker, so that's one thing. So that's an option. We could do one if we want. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time. Anyway, moving on. Trade out the Sanwei box for the Geo glue for now. I'm making a mess behind me and all around me, so I'm kind of like, it's becoming like an island of trash. Have you heard of Hurricane Storm Rubber? I have not heard of the Storm Rubber. Let me know about that. One sec. Oh, you have to make it bigger, shave it down, it might lower the frequency. Okay. Well, I'll have to find a way to make this Fextra just a little bigger. I'll ask them next time. I'll ask them for a blade with 1337 hertz next time for us. And then if we get it right, we're gonna party. Shave it down, it might raise the frequency. Okay. I use leather glue. Leather glue. Is that like Terramender? I've heard of Terramender, and I think that's like a fabric glue or something, but I don't know exactly for it. But I've heard that's all right. They recommend Terramender for like removing old glue also, or rubber cement, but I use table tennis glue. I like this stuff. So Revolution 3 glue. This is the normal viscosity, VOC free. I'll be honest, it has a smell to it. It smells kind of like ammonia. And they make an odorless version now, so I'm going to test the odorless version sometime. Because it does stink, right? But you can see I have like this much left. And I've actually assembled quite a few rackets with this, so it's lasted me a while. But we'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. All right, let me show you a few more things before we ever get to the assembly. Oh, man. I'm stepping all over all my stuff. Let me clean this up just a little bit. Otherwise, I'm gonna like fall over and break everything. All right, real quick, check this out. These are my two. So okay, obviously this is a Quest 2 virtual reality headset. I play the 11 VR game on this, right? Those are my shoes that I play in. I'll show you those in a bit. But check these two things out. This will make you guys interested, maybe. This is my solid slime adapter that I use normally, and I've adapted by putting some Dignics 09C rubbers on it. I taped them on. I should have glued them on or something, but you live and you learn. And then this is some tape on the handle. I should use a better tape. But let's look at how much that weighs on its own. 95. And then I don't know what the Quest 2 controller weighs. Oops. And then this one. So that one's solid. This is solid slime Quest 2 adapter. And then this one is by Ellis for Life, one of my practice partners in the game, and he's designed this one, so it's really awesome. Got room for your finger. You can actually change your grip a little bit when you're serving, and it's a good style. So I'm testing this out some. I still play with this for my main training and tournaments for now, but you never know. This is definitely really solid, really good. I like it. I like how it works, like how it feels. So check that out. Yeah, very nice of Ellis for Life to hook me up with that one to practice with and try out. All right, so let me put those back. 232 gram for which one? This one? Oh, one second. That one's 209.5 grams. And then with a Quest 3 controller, it's actually quite a bit less. Even though some people said the Quest 3, Quest 2 controller difference wasn't that much, but I'm pretty sure I saw a number that maybe it was just a different adapter. Anyway, so this one's a little bit, you know, it's like 15 grams higher than my Racket. Here, let's look at one of my rackets. Well, two of my rackets. You guys like weighing stuff, right? I won't bore you too much with... Well, I mean, you tell me that you say, stop weighing stuff and get to assembling, but I got people who like the weight of things. What do you think? Did we already weigh this when any of you guys were here? My Harimoto with Dignics 09C both sides. This is my backup blade. Yeah, this one? It's pretty good, right? And it feels good in the hand. It's definitely a really good adapter. I'm really proud of his work here. Ellis for Life, so good job. Oh, I guess, one sec, did I move it out of the... Oh, shoot. You're not supposed to move a scale while it's on, I think, as far as I know, so that's why I turned it off. Yeah, so 209.33 for that one. My solid slime, I'll have to put the controller in there in a little bit and we can check it out and compare it, but remember that number, 209.3. Okay, what's the guess for my... Okay, 190 plus. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of the Quest stuff real quick, just so, well, not all of it. All right, get rid of the extra controller. I'll leave these so you can see them because they're kind of cool. All right, drum roll, please. We got 190 plus. Okay, well, look, 190 plus might be right sometimes, but this one. 183.9. Let that sink in for a moment. But look, don't take your guess back just yet, right? Same racket, same rubbers. One sec. Same racket, same rubbers. 192.69, right? Okay, you guys are going to get me weighing everything, right? All right. Start placing bets on the weight of things. All right, but look. So, 192.64. $184, right? Now look. Okay, the rubbers on this one are chipped up all at the edges and moved up slightly, right? So that takes away some of the weight. See what I'm saying? It's moved up at the handle because I took these off a different blade and put them on. And then it's all cut up on the edges, so that takes a little weight away, of course. But I'm pretty sure this blade is just... Next time I take the rubbers off, we'll have to do the frequency thing so you guys can tell me. But I know... Okay, so this was my first blade. Let's see. Yeah, so my first blade, I didn't ask for a weight or anything. I just got it, right? I waited for the... This was right when the blade came out and I started using it. And then this one, I asked for a light blade when I got the backup, so I'd have two of them because I use them for tournaments and stuff. Maybe too little glue. I mean, I specifically didn't use a lot of glue because the Dignics 09C is heavy, right? So I used just one layer of glue on the rubber, one layer of glue on the blade. But I did that on purpose because you got to think 09C is heavy and the Harimoto blade is a little bit wider at the face, so you get even more rubber up there. But anyway, here's the two. This one obviously in a little better shape still. This is what I'm using mainly now, but I'll replace these in a little bit. But like I said, I think 09C lasts quite a while, honestly, in my opinion. So thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to Oblivion007 and H Jackal. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce your name, but really appreciate it. Great guesses on the weights, especially that 90-gram Fextra guess. I think you might be Mr. Sanwei, and you're just being shy about it. Anyway, so those are the plans there. Oh, I didn't actually tell you the plan. I'm going to either put Rakza Z on both sides of this one, so that's another hybrid rubber, similar to Dignics 09C, heavy, grippy, not super bouncy. Less bouncy than 09C for sure, slower. But I really like Rakza Z on the Yasaka Sweden Extra, so I'll put that on there. They're a little bit too small, that's why I didn't put it on there before, but I'll move them in a position where it'll work out. And that'll just be like a training blade for practicing with people, but good control, easy to play with. Let people test out, what am I doing? Let people test out the hybrid rubbers, so that's the plan there. But I also could, instead of putting Rakza Z on both sides, I could take this blue long pips rubber and put on there, but I don't play long pips, and I kind of would like to have the Sweden Extra, like a normal racket. But I don't like having long pips on this racket, the 7-ply Joola Viva, because it's just too fast, and this blade's also like a good offensive all-around blade. So I'm gonna put the red Rakza 7 on the backhand here. So I have Rakza 7 both sides. I really like the Rakza 7. All right, what do you think? This one's got long pips on one side, 0.7 millimeter sponge, so the weight's going to be a little different. What's the guess for the weight of this one? Joola Viva, 7-ply blade. Right, clipper clone, they would call it. Rakza 7, not quite all the way to the handle. And Yinhe Moxa 955. Isn't that design cool of the blue pips? Doesn't it look cool on the camera when I put it up there? It always like mesmerizes me with the light. It's like you're stuck in a little 3D town. Or like maybe I've been watching the Lego movie too much, but I actually stopped watching the Lego movie when I was watching it. They said it was good. Should I start watching the Lego movie again? I got bored of it. Should I travel? Okay, question in the chat. Should I travel for work a day early to play 2 days at a TT club, or is 1 day enough? Well, let's see. What does the chat think? And I'll try to think about it too. I mean, if it's a good club and you can make it work with your schedule, why not try to be there 2 days? It'll be more fun because first day you get to know people, maybe make a couple friends, play with some people. The next day you come back, get to enjoy a little more, right? All right. So great question. That was for the chat, right? You didn't ask me. I know you asked the chat. Sorry, I shouldn't have interjected. I should have just kept weighing these blades. Eventually I'm going to assemble something, I promise. But you guys are pretty enthusiastic about the blade weight, so right, I'm going to give the people what they want. All right, what do we think? Do we have a guess for the weight of this blade? 179 grams? Okay, that's a good guess. Any other guesses? Oblivion, got a guess? Hyakel's got a good one. I like how it's, okay, I'm gonna say it like that, Hyakel. What do you think, Oblivion? You got a guess? You can piggyback off Hyakel's, that's how I did it before. He's got the good guesses. Hyakel's got a sack of good guesses over there. 176, right? Or Price is writing them. I'm gonna go 179.1. No, just kidding. I'm gonna say, okay, I think it's a light blade. It's a little bit smaller blade face than normal. Rakza Z is fairly light, not crazy light, but reasonable. 176, 170. I'm gonna go 168. Oh, I didn't go far enough. I didn't adjust far enough. Look at that. All our minds explode, right? 154 grams, these Pips players, they've got like feathers in their hands, these light blades. No wonder they're so quick, right? This is an interesting one. I like this blade. I like the Rakza 7 on there. I'm sure if I knew what I was doing with Pips, it could be good, but I just don't think it's the right combo for this. I'm going to put another Rakza 7 on the backhand of this one because I really like how Rakza 7 feels on this blade. Okay, Fextra 7's like a good blade, budget, good option, and Rakza 7's like always my recommendation for rubbers for most like developing players that want a good one. Nowadays it's more expensive. It used to be like $38, $40. Now it's closer to $48, $50, so it's not as simple of a decision, but it's durable. And it's another one where like durable can mean different things, right? If the grip goes away quickly or this, but if a rubber like still plays 70% as well for like a year, that's durable. Should I weigh more? Let me see. Okay, let's get started with like a little bit of assembly while I jabber on, right? We got to get like some progress. Otherwise, it'll be like a few hours later, I won't have started a single thing. Okay. First up, I'm gonna put these rubbers in there. What are you saying? You're voting for 2 Rakzas. Fextra 7 is surprisingly fast. But yeah, it's fast. So basically on this Fextra, all I'm doing is I'm moving these over there because this blade is not being made for someone who needs a fast blade, right? It's more for I want a good controlled setup. So I think these rubbers on the Fextra will be good for this person. They're spinny, they're not bouncy. But on this Sweden Extra, I didn't like them. So without further ado, let's get these things off of here. All right. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're gonna have to make some decisions about this glue. It might peel off, right? But we'll see. Anyway, here's the Sweden Extra. I guess I could. Well, I'll figure something out. Anyway, here's the Sweden Extra. Classic blade. Also used to be cheaper. Now it's a little more expensive, but still really good. Could serve people well for a while. 5-ply blade all around. You can see I've had this one for quite some time. I played with this one for a while, at least 1 or 2 years. I think the rubbers I like the most on it then, Rakza 7. I still kind of, like I say, you get this blade with Rakza 7 on both sides. Maybe once upon a time I would have said Rakza 7 soft for some people, but I actually think it's better just to get used to Rakza 7 as a medium sponge as opposed to the softer one and just play with that. Good grip, good bounce. So if you get the blade nowadays is like 48. Rakza 7's like 48, right? Times it by 3. What do you get? Like 144. So somewhere around there. Okay, let's weigh the Sweden Extra on its own. What do we think? Sweden Extra, no residue, a little bit beaten up. Okay, a little bit of residue. What do you think? We got a weight guess for a Sweden Extra? All right, put your thinking caps on. I won't weigh it quite yet. I'll give you a second while I try and see what I'm gonna do about this extra glue. I'm not sure. So I might have to change strategies. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I won't put these on there. Maybe I'll just get some other rubbers that don't have this, and then I'll spend the time peeling this off while we talk. We'll see. No. Yeah, I'm not putting 5-ply wood, 79 grams. Good guess. All right, I'm taking these pips off, right? Blue sponge pips, or blue pips, beige sponge. You're out of here. Gotta be careful though, right? I should call this rubber or racket disassembly stream because there's still no guarantee that I'm gonna put anything together at this rate. Okay, 79 grams, not gonna leave you waiting anymore. Hyakul's got the guess, 79, 79, 79. I always feel like this thing's a little bit heavy when it's got rubbers on it. I'm gonna go 83. Yeah, 89. See, I should have guessed higher because I guess saying it does feel heavy when I have rubbers on it, especially that. So 80, 88.8. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there's different ways to come about it, right? Like, it's true if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if you don't do math too often, then you kind of start getting slower with the mental calculations. But when you do it again, if you were like adept at it at one point, then they come back, right? Not like it was, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. If I had rounded, or if I had figured out like the change and stuff. Anyway, this is good. It's going with this one. This is a Rakza 7 over here. These all, like, a lot of these rubbers are from like multiple years ago, so you gotta check. Yeah, I remember now. This sponge isn't great. We'll see. I have like plenty of old rubbers to choose from if I have to, but they're off old blades. So, one sec. Oh yeah, what was your guess on the scissors weight? I never gave you that satisfaction of being right or wrong. I bet those scissors are 78 grams. All right, 78 grams for Oblivion. Guess on the scissors. Hyakul, you got a guess on the scissors. They're pruning shears. At least a decade old. A little bit of rust on them. You can hear the frequency. They're pretty good for snipping, right? Have no idea. All right. Okay. Well, we'll see. All right. What was it? 78 grand. Okay. I'm gonna guess. Okay. Let's see. This is 88. Oh, this is heavier. This is like 99 grams. Oh, 88. 88. Man, everything's like 88.88. 88. Repeating, of course, grams. All right. There you go. No, it's like 88. What about this bottle of glue? It's up to here. Any guesses? We can't keep guessing weights. I'm never going to assemble anything if all we do is weigh things. But, I mean, I'll do it, right? We'll be here all night. I'll just weigh stuff all night. I'll start pulling things out of different rooms. Oh, we could go through my old rubber collection, all the cut rubbers, and just guess. Is that fun to you guys? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. All right. So this is going in the rubber collection drawer for a little while. No, don't do that. This, I'm not gonna... Okay, so normally, you would have to worry about all this stuff if you wanted it to be really good, but I'm not gonna worry about it because, like I said, I'm gonna be re-gluing these T88 rubbers anyway. I just want to test them on this Fextra, so they're gonna go on the Fextra. They're gonna fit really well. Look, that's a pretty good fit. So we can look at the blade face a little bit. Basically the same size, right? So it fits on there just fine. I'll glue it on there. I'm not gonna worry about the extra. Yeah, let's assemble, right? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for giving me the green light on that. We're going to assemble these first, and then, all right, get the scale out of here. All right. We'll bring the scale back in a little bit. Okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to reach all this stuff. What's this? Okay. So, Yoola Viva 7-ply, got Rakza 7. We're going to put Rakza 7 on the other side. So, wait, this sponge is like, man, this is in rough shape. It'll be all right. It's not like we're not making a masterpiece. We're just putting it together. So thick. Pretty sure that's 2 millimeter for the Rakza 7. Old school Rakza 7. It's actually sticky already. I could just stick it on there. It's gross. Anyway, that's that. Sweden Extra is not getting any of these right now. Fextra's getting these right now. All right, so I'm going to start with those for now. And then we're gonna decide on the Sweden Extra in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna start with these. Your friend always gets air pockets. So yeah, well, we'll talk about that when I do things. Biggest thing, oh crap, sorry. Oh, well, that's not that bad of a word. I can say that, I think. I meant to do the rubbers first, but, all right. I'm talking too much. Give me a sec. 1 sec. I didn't mean to do that, but we'll do this first. So usually you do the rubbers first, but I was thinking about other stuff. So here I am putting on the blade first. Who cares? It'll dry. That'll dry. They'll stick together. And I don't know. Maybe forever they'll stick together, or maybe not. Right? You never know. The Yoola Viva. It's Yoola Viva, right? So it's for life with Yoola Viva. I'm never giving up this Yoola Viva. That was like my first custom racket purchase. Crazy enough, it was from Megaspin. I was living in Spain and I had started playing in the park. And then when I got serious, I was like, oh, I'm going to buy a custom racket. And I looked online and all the reviews were like, this and that. So I got the 7-ply blade, fast rubbers. And because everyone's like, oh, this isn't that fast, this and that. But when you're a beginner and you're reading online reviews, you don't realize that like everyone who's reviewing is pretty advanced or has certain ideas about what's fast, what's not fast. So you can't take their word for it. You really have to be easy on that. All right, so I'm not going to mess around with this one too much. This is why I'm using the Revolution glue because, like I say, Revolution 3 glue is like very flexible. It doesn't dry up quick. It doesn't get all gunky quick. It helps you out when you need it, right? You call up Revolution 3 glue late at night. It'll pick you up. So that's that one. I don't know why I put this down. I still have to do these. This time we'll do it in the right order. So since I'm doing one coat, I definitely make sure I put enough on. Like I said, I mean, if you were really moving rubbers from one racket to another and you knew me really good, then you could try to get all the old glue off if you wanted. If it's not coming off easily, then you could put a bunch of new glue on, then peel it all off together. It takes a lot of work, but you could do it. Or you just put some new glue on and hope for the best, which is fine. Really smelling this Revolution 3 glue. I don't know if you've used Revolution 3 glue. It's got a strong ammonia smell. When the rubber's already used and they're kind of bent, you gotta be a little creative with your directions. I could have stopped a while ago, but here we are. One sec, I'll read that in a moment. So this blade's new. It's sealed a little bit, I'm sure, but there's not much seal in here, so it's absorbing the glue quite a bit. So if you had not used enough glue, or you used a glue that would dry up quickly, you might be in trouble already, right? Because it would start clumping up a little bit and getting gross. But Revolution 3 glue, this is like the normal viscosity, so it takes longer to dry, but because it's liquidy, right? So I recommend it. It's just easy and it's cheap, so whatever. All right, what's going on here? I have a friend who uses the Tenergy glue. He does not like Revolution for some reason. I think Rev 3 is the best. Yeah. What's up, Elmir? Filio, I appreciate that. I also think Revolution 3 glue is the best, but I understand some people aren't as big on it. Some people can use that DHS glue or the Nataku finds it, but I can't use that at all. It just clumps up immediately. So I think everyone has their own things. Yeah, Oblivion says my coach uses Tenergy. I figure his dad probably does too. Butterfly comes off cleaner. Why is it called Chack? However it's spelled. Yeah, free Chack. C-H-A-C-K. That was the one thing with the Butterfly free Chack I always liked. It was like you could glue it on, and then when you take the rubber off later, it's almost like it's not there a lot of times, right? It either absorbed all the way in or this or that. Whereas that's the one thing with Revolution 3 glue. Okay, there's going to be a layer of glue you got to deal with if you do move your stuff around, but you can get it off if you peel it off diligently or put more glue on and take it. But the free Chack glue, that's the one thing. It was like, oh, it just kind of disappeared after you're done. If I remember correctly, the first one. I didn't use the other ones that much. All right, so those are drying. We got to let them dry. It'll be dry soon enough. You can see this one, old blade, absorbed the glue quite a bit. This one, sponge, yeah, just absorb it, softer sponge. This sponge has got a weird coating on it and it had a layer of glue on it, so it didn't absorb it so much. This blade absorbed it pretty good. All right, this is going to go on the other side of this one. So I'll figure out sweeten extra. I mean, I guess I might not even need scissors the whole time until I'm like just lining up the edges. Right? These are the Rakza Z's. I'm pretty sure they're the perfect size for that, so we'll get started with it. Yeah, the Rakza Z both sides of Sweet Extra. That's what I like. I like how the Rakza Z feels. It's going to be a little heavy having it on both sides, but outside of putting a Rakza 7 on one side, there's nothing else I really like as much as this at this point. And since I play with Dignics 09C both sides, I like the idea of having this slower, spinnier racket set up with the hybrid rubbers. My collection of things around me is growing, but still manageable. I can still reach things. The Tampa Bay Table Tennis Club. So my club is Sunrise Table Tennis Club. I'm the secretary for it. It's been around a long time, long before I was around. And we're the biggest club around here. We got a bunch of members. We're in the Clearwater Rec Centers. There is a club in Tampa called Tampa Bay Table Tennis. They practice at Port Tampa Tuesday, Thursday nights. So those are good places to check out in the area. But no, my main club and my really only club is Sunrise Table Tennis Club. And then I go to bigger events at Broward down near Fort Lauderdale. Broward Table Tennis Club, I like that a lot. Central Florida Table Tennis Club in Orlando runs good tournaments. And Naples is a newer place that also runs good tournaments. A lot of people like it, so check any of those out. And anyone who's ever in the Clearwater area or Tampa area, come check us out at Sunrise. We don't have like a full-time table tennis club in the area at the moment, maybe someday. But we play in the rec centers. We have a lot of practice sessions available each week. But sometimes the gyms close more often for events and rentals and basketball tournaments, volleyball. And for example, last weekend we were closed. This weekend, pretty sure we're going to be closed again. So you'll see me playing a lot of VR. It's a good substitute when you can't play in real life. Have any of you guys played 11 VR on the MetaQuest 2, MetaQuest 3, whatever? Virtual reality table tennis? See, like, to me, I feel so nice. It feels so comfortable just like spreading the Revolution 3 glue around the blade face, as opposed to some glues that gets clunked up real good. Now, keep in mind, I think those Rakza Z rubbers are kind of quite a bit smaller than this blade face, but it is what it is. Maybe I just said they were the same size, but I should have checked first before I put the glue on. That's my fault. Yeah, definitely check us out. So sunrisetabletennis.com is our website. You can see our playing practice things. Not yet. I have the index. Oh, the index. Yeah, that's one of the other headsets. I don't know. I only know about the MetaQuest ones, I guess. But if it's one that you can play the game on, you should try it. I don't know. If it's like a wired one, then I guess it won't work. But it's a really fun game. And I've been streaming some, working on my techniques and all that. I like the game for working on your techniques. You get a lot of repetition from the ball machine, the robot, and you can really analyze it. But also you can record yourself and you don't have the table in front of you, right? In your actual living room, let's say. So you can see your whole body and the mechanics of your movements and how they go together with your shots. So I think it's really neat, really good info. Well, we'll see. I'm testing it out, right? Who knows? But it is pretty dry. I see some areas where it's still kind of white because the old glue had like ridges, so it probably got clunked up there. It's not going to be beautiful, right? This was going to look worse than the other side because I couldn't get that old rubber or glue off. But if it's too bad to play with, I'll replace it. All right. If it's good, then it's fine. Right? Self-explanatory. This one's getting there. You can see still white here, white here. Blades are both dry. This one's definitely dry already. This one's drying, still there. Plenty on the rubber still. I'm gonna put the Rakza Z both sides. Sanwei T88 both sides. Rakza 7 one side. And then we'll see. All right. Good night, Oblivion 007. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate talking with us. All right. Almir Filio, yeah, the Tampa Port Community Center is going to be closing until June for floor repairs. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, Almir. Well, then definitely come check out Sunrise Table Tennis. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of those players over at our place then, too. Or maybe you already do. Sunrise Table Tennis Club, we're talking with MLTT to become a MLTT partner club. So that'll be news we're going to hopefully be able to put out soon. That'll be nice. Work with Major League Table Tennis. I don't know if you guys are fans of Major League Table Tennis. Let me know. They had the draft today, so there's some new players for Season 3. Some rosters getting shooken up. Big signing was Koki Niwa. I'm not sure which team he's on. I forgot already. I'll have to look it up. All right, so this is just about ready. Might as well glue it on, right? Because it's not going to be perfect, and it's about dry. And you guys have all been very patient. Yeah. Sorry, Oblivion. You've been here for a while. What's your question, Amir? Sorry, Oblivion. I didn't even get to assemble a single racket while you're here, and you were so nice talking with me, but I appreciate it. All right. I've actually done what I said you shouldn't do. You got to leave yourself some space. So let me make sure I got a little bit of space for what I'm about to do. And now I'm moving everything around, so I got to be careful that I remember where the right stuff is. All right. So like I said, you kind of put it in front of yourself, line it up with the edge of the table. Get out of here. Don't have stuff in the way. All right, so if you got it lined up level, it's not so hard. This is going to be a little tricky because I got this camera in front of me. Let me see how I'm going to do. All right, so usually I try to put this nearby. Like I said, these rubbers, it should fit it pretty well, so I'm not going to worry about too much. Actually, it's kind of small, but whatever. I'll figure it out. A little small, so I'll put it all the way down here. And then basically you want to get it to like just that label part down and then roll it from there gently. Don't stretch it out, but you don't want to like get halfway down and start rolling because then maybe you get some air bubbles in the middle. So you try to get it down, but then you try and get the roller on quick without letting it fall down further. But I'm a little too far away. Maybe my face is like in the camera, that'd be odd. Trying to line up the bottom, because I know it has to be a little bit higher. I probably didn't even need to lift it, really. Maybe that was a mistake, but I think this side's a little bit lifted, so I like to have it even. We'll go with that as an explanation for why I lifted it. And it's a little bit to the right, but it's all right. It's all right. Boom. All right, so let's look. Yeah, it's all right. You can see it's got some ridges to it because of that glue on the other side, whatever. And it's a little bit to the right, but like I said, this is just kind of a practice fun paddle. It'll get a little better, but that old glue made it so it wasn't going to be flat. We already knew that. Same with these T88s, but it won't be too bad. It won't be as bad as that. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I see people at tournaments with really lumpy rubbers. I'm like, oh. I could have definitely done it lower, right? Anyway. Oh, yeah. Sunrise Table Tennis Club. Yeah, both locations. Yeah, because all of our, like Ross Norton, Long Center, and Morningside, even though Morningside is not open as much, those are our playing locations for Sunrise. And yeah, so it'll be an MLTT partnered club. All our Sunrise locations. I actually think the Tampa club may already be partnered too. But it'll be great with our club. And then in the future with the league nights and stuff, we'll be able to do the spin decks. And so you can like battle for rating points on the Spindex index, which is the index that MLTT is using, as opposed to, it's alongside USATT, but they want it to be international and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know yeah, the ripples, are there, right? We're not going to be so no one's going to be wowed by this one. I kind of set myself up for failure once I saw all that glue. But we're reusing rubbers from olden times and putting them on blades so they play well. And we'll try them on the return board just to see. I'm cutting it because if this rubber doesn't work out on this blade, it'll be the end of these rubbers. Useful lives, so I call it. All right, so that's one. We give ourselves, I don't know. It's fine assembly. All right, the finished product doesn't look as pretty as I'd like, but what can you do? I don't think I could have done anything else. Let me assemble these real quick. Let's make sure I remember what I'm doing. Fextra 7. See, so there's no other rubber on this side. It's easy to just stick it here. Almir, do you play at our club sometimes, Sunrise? Do we know each other at all? Oh, okay. Well, definitely feel free to visit us over in Clearwater. I know the drive going back and forth is not so great. That's kind of why I don't make it to Tampa much. But definitely visit us, especially if the floors are causing you any inconvenience, or maybe you got some other clubs going around if you go to Land Lakes or Lakeland or that and that. But definitely feel free to come visit us. So you can see, as I suspected, these rubbers fit pretty good from the Yasaka Sweden Extra as far as the size on there. So we'll get that going. It's got a little overhang here. I'll cut that off, but that one's pretty good. So you can see I'm not completely useless when it comes to assembly. It was just there was glue all over the old sponge, so that was never going to be perfect. Right, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. When you cut your rubbers, try to cut it close, but try not to cut into your blade. That's no fun. It's not like it's the end of the world if it happens. But anyway, so you got the rubber on, you roll it down. I press it down, but these are kind of sticky, so if you press it down when the glue's fresh, then you try and peel it up, sometimes that can actually make it worse. So for now, we're going to go like this. Going to go like that. Give it one more good one. And then I'll do this real quick. And one, yeah. That's fine. Try to find a flat surface that won't stick to it. So if these are like really good rubbers, I would stick even like the piece of paper and a butterfly sheet over my table so I don't have to press it down on the wood grain indent so much. But these T88 rubbers are simple rubbers, hard working rubbers. They're doing the job, testing them out, so not gonna baby them. Thank you, Yakko, appreciate it. Yeah, for sure, Almir, visit us, we'd appreciate it. Have you ever played at Broward Table Tennis Club, Almir? Yeah, thanks, Yakko. All right, get back to gluing more. Oh yeah, I gotta glue this way. Let's see, boom. And then I'll glue the other sides once I get my thoughts back together. All right, let's see. So I should have put this up to the blade face to get a better idea for it before I started, but I'm pretty sure it's too small. I think I looked at it before and it's too small. So it's gonna have to go like part way up. That's what I was saying before with the glue. I didn't have to cover the whole thing, but we're just gonna go for it. Goal here is to go basically all the way up to the top without going over it, because that means if I go over it, then I wasted rubber. But if I end up too short, then you would hit the edge too much. I guess that was a little air bubble at the very top, which makes sense because as I was rolling it, this got in my way of rolling it all the way completely, and it stopped a little bit there. So maybe it lifted up a little bit there, or maybe the sponge is a little funky there. But either way, looks pretty good. I sized it right. Like, okay, I went up a little bit to the left and a little bit too high, but otherwise, pretty good. I was poking at that because I was surprised there was an air bubble there. I wouldn't expect one to come at the very end of the sponge or the rubber, but it was because this got in my way, so I didn't roll down all the way smoothly. And normally you would also clean all these rubbers before you start putting them on so they can be like real flat and stuff, but here we are. Yeah, you're right. That would be smarter. Use that. You played at Broward. Yeah, you're going to May. Yeah, I'll be there. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm playing a good amount of events at that one. So definitely, if you see me around, say hi. And if I see you in an event or something, I'll say hi too. But yeah, so I'm playing that one. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. That's a big one, right? Because a lot of the good players play, so you get to watch them. On top of just playing a lot, you get to watch a lot of good action. So yeah, overall, this is pretty good. I don't know if there's actually a bubble there, or it's just because my blade is beat up in that spot, maybe. But that was a pretty good gluing. I do say so myself, see. Sometimes just gotta get going. Oops. All right. Not bad. You want to move it up so that you get as much coverage on the blade as possible, but you don't want to move it up too far where it feels weird on your finger. This is acceptable to me, right? You don't notice that extra gap too much there, but a little higher you would. And actually with heavier hybrid rubbers, I don't mind cutting them a little higher because you're taking a little bit of weight off the blade. So heavy all-wood blade, heavy-ish, right? It was only like 89, not like heavy, but. And then Rakza Z is kind of heavy. So yeah, I definitely would use the clear sheet of paper or whatever when I'm using like Tenergies and Dignics and stuff. Here I'm trying to just get through the different assemblies with the moving around. It's more for just testing purposes, right? These are all my rackets and they're all just kind of extra rackets to practice or try things out with the return board or people. So here's, yeah, you can tell why I had it hidden on that side already. That was from the glue mostly, but we'll live with it. We'll practice with it. We'll see. I think it'll be fine still. This would be a good racket to give people to play with. They need a racket. As long as they take care of it. Like I said, that one's important to me. So, get this out of here. T88 red over here. Rakza Z red. Like, yeah, this plastic would be good for example. I could do it. Only thing is then sometimes you put that there and then it slips around so much on the table. Paper is good though, like you said. Okay, this time we'll be smart enough to look at it before we put it on. And to show people, right? So that's what it would look like. If I were to put it all the way down to the bottom, it would look like that. The shape's off. A little bit wider at the bottom, but mostly shorter. I'm not sure what blade it came off of. Anyway, more glue, more glue. One sec. That's a little bit. Let's see what I can do. Give me a moment. Oh, actually, I'll glue this one on the left, and then we'll figure out. So if you're watching, appreciate it. Feel free to like it if you're enjoying it, or give me feedback on what you'd rather see, this or that. I did the vertical one just so you kind of see it. Do it. You don't need to be like, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. So once again, I've done the blade before the rubber because they're closer to me. This time I consciously did it. I just said, you know what? I don't want to reach all the way for the rubber at this exact second. I'll get to it later. I was very lazy. But I won't put the glue all the way down to the bottom. That's smart thinking. So, because I know it's not going to go all the way down to the bottom. So you want to be like just where it's going to go. It's not quite enough. Yeah, you don't want to not do enough though, I guess, so don't get ridiculous. Like I said, Revolution 3 glue is good glue if you like have a tendency to just keep tinkering with things, because it'll let you tinker for longer, right? That could be their slogan. Could use more glue, could use less, but it's pretty shiny. I don't think it's gonna soak in that much. All right, if you see a bunch of little holes in a sponge and it looks dry, then it's gonna probably soak up the glue more. If it looks shiny and kind of non-porous, it's probably not gonna soak it up that much. Neotech yellow brick for cleaning glue from rubbers and blades. No, I'll have to look. That would be very helpful, because a lot of times when I really need to get the glue off, I have to sit here and peel it all off, and that takes a while. Like this one I can see is going to work. The question is, I guess I'll sit here and do it because it's actually working so easily. Sometimes it doesn't, but is that like, wait, Neotech yellow. It's not like one of those cleaning sponges that look like a big yellow square though, right? Because I always try to figure out what that was supposed to be used for. Maybe that. I don't think that's it though. What do you guys think? Should I sit here and get all this off? Technically, I could put those long pips. I could put the long pips on here. This is a good pips racket. That's why I'm putting the short pips on later, but I could put those long pips on for now. But then I'd have to switch them because the short pips... Oh. The short pips are black, so I could have short pips, long pips. I don't know if that's a combo I'm going to try out, but it could be useful to have the short pips, long pips combo. Hit them with the Wacket Racket. Anyway, I'm going to have to check this out. So Neotech yellow brick for cleaning glue. Okay, I'm going to look it up. I don't have that. That sounds pretty good, Yakko. I definitely, if it could save me time from doing this type of stuff, and especially, like this sponge is, the reason I'm doing it too is because I know this sponge is pretty tough. It's not going to fall apart, but a Tenergy sponge, like, falls all apart. I might not do the whole thing here. We'll see. I just wanted to get this part that was sticking up too much. Normally I would do the whole thing. I'd just sit here, watch a movie while I'm doing it or something. Do something else because it takes a long time and you don't want to... If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. So we'll see. Maybe I won't give up on it yet. I'll just do it a little faster. Yeah, I believe it, Heckle. Because that's really a pain. I've actually had it where I'm assembling something for someone and they give me these new Tenergies, then instantly I've already made a mistake on one of them or the glue got messed up, and it's like, I've got to sit here and try and get all the glue out of the sponge to then glue the Tenergy back down straight without looking ridiculous. For a racket I'm not even going to use, right? That's fun. After that happened, and I saved it, right? It looked perfect because I got all the glue out of the sponge by putting more glue on than taking off. But after that, I told the person, I was like, okay, sometimes there's going to be mistakes, right? Just to warn them if it ever happens again where I butcher a Tenergy rubber or something. Like, I'm not going to be on the hook for it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably get bored of pulling this out of the sponge in a little bit, but maybe that's enough. No, I'll get more aggressive with it. I think I remember my first live assembly stream on here. I was messing with I was assembling rackets for my friend, and I hadn't assembled them, right? They were like something like a year old with the rubbers and stuff getting moved, and I spent the first half hour picking pieces of the sponge and rubber up off the blade, right? The whole part of the assembly, I was just picking at it off a blade because it was so glued on there, so baked on there. So let me know what equipment you guys use if you're watching and you want to join in the discussion, right? I can see your comments. I appreciate any input. It's definitely shout out to Hyackle and Oblivion and Almir for chatting with me while I do this, right? It's kind of makes it more fun for me instead of me just sitting here doing the assembly, I guess. I would probably be watching a movie or listening to music, but you guys are kind of cool too. So yeah, the MLTT draft was today. Actually, while I sit here and do this, so that's still drying. It's white around there. Hopefully I can get this glue off here pretty soon, but let me look at the MLTT draft results and talk about it for a second. You guys might find that interesting. I'm not sure where I gotta look to find that. Give me a moment. If I was on the computer doing the stream, I could kind of like, okay, here's the draft stuff, but I'm on the phone and all that. All right. So if you're listening, let me know if you like MLTT stuff. I'll talk about it a little bit. Let me go get that MLTT mug over here and put the hat somewhere just for the promotional side of things. Right. MLTT commemorative mug in your mug. So we're waiting for this to dry if you're just joining me, right? Don't worry. I'm going to put this glue on here, and then this is supposed to go on there, but things always pop up when you're assembling, right? Here's a detour. I wanted to get this glue off here. Because if I'm lazy and don't get this glue off right, then I put it on here. It's not going to be a true test of what this rubber feels like on this blade. So I owe it to the people who I might recommend a Fextra 7-ply blade with T88 rubbers on it to know what it plays like. And like I said, I know this rubber is not brittle. It's durable. It's a harder, like a medium hard Chinese rubber. So I can sit here and peel at the glue. But if it was like a Tenergy rubber, yeah, you really got to be careful. And it would take a long time. You have to do it little by little, and you get little chunks out of it here and there that break your heart. But it eventually it'll work out. All right, this is about done, I think. Yeah, just a little more. This is about done. I'm about done peeling this glue off as far as like motivation wise, but I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll just complain about it while I keep doing it. Yeah, that's how I usually do it, right? And that's the way I do it. The problem, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I know Tearmender is recommended for that. I need to buy some Tearmender to see if it does it well, because I've been using the Revolution 3 glue before. I do layer, layer, layer. And if I do it right, and I do a lot, and the sponge cooperates, it works. But it's still a little tedious, but it's way easier, right? But I've also had times where I put on layer, 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 and then all of a sudden I'm trying to peel it off, and it's not coming off the way I want. And then I'm just dealing with more glue. And I have to sit there and just... You might spend 10 minutes messing with one spot on the sponge and it goes nowhere, and then eventually you get a little bit here, a little bit there, and you start to peel it up, and then an hour later you've got a good sponge again. All right, so you just have to stick with it. But yeah, that's the way I've been doing it. I like that idea of that brick sponge thing. I'm going to check that out. A lot of it just depends with the glue. That's That's what I'm realizing. Like, this is Revolution 3 glue, so if you're switching rubbers a lot all the time, then I guess there is a downside to it. I like Revolution 3 glue because it's easy to put stuff on, but it's true. It didn't come off super smooth, so maybe, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure how often people switch rubbers from blade to blade and stuff, as opposed to just using the rubbers and putting on new ones. I do it a lot just because every time I use old rubbers or get a different blade around here or something, I'm going to test it out. Test it out with Rakza 7 typically. That's like my benchmark rubber. For a long time, like when I had Rakza 7 on both sides of my Viscaria, I was like, okay, this is probably my most solid setup in terms of attacking and countering, but also just blocking and controlling. It's very well-rounded rubber for both sides, in my opinion. That's why I got it on both sides of this, right? I'm talking about this Rakza 7 rubber from Yasaka. All right, let me put that on, and then we'll make a game time decision as far as whether I'm going to sit there and get all that off. And I should have covered that a while ago. Make sure to give yourself space to avoid issues. Like I said, I got to move this up a little bit. So I got to judge that. I gotta make sure these old pieces of glue don't get stuck on my roller for when I roll it. Might be a little bit off to the right, and try to fix it with my roller. So sometimes I say don't stretch it too much when you put it down, but older rubber, not so rigid. If you see you're going off course a little bit, hey, do what you can. Not bad, pretty good. Pretty good. So actually, yeah, it was off to the right, just a little bit, not too bad. And I tried to gently guide it this way with the roller, right? Like sometimes you shouldn't do things, but you kind of do them a little bit once you've done the assembly a lot of times and you feel comfortable doing it, right? I didn't feel like I was going to over pull the rubber to make a mistake or something, but I thought I could get it to line up a little straighter. So you could see, not bad. The whole point of this one is for practice purposes. Is a good racket to use if you're helping train, beginners, or just kind of controlling the ball, blocking a lot for people, things like that, spinning the ball. Not super fast, but I mean, a lot of people could play with this even at a good level. Some people would say it's good enough. Maybe it is. That's why I want to have a good one I can practice with sometimes. I can judge, are there things I like more about an all-wood 5-ply racket like this, like the Sweden Extra, versus something like what I play, the Inner Carbon, or especially versus the Viscaria, let's say. Thanks, Yakko. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I did pretty good on the actual assembly of stuff so far. That's why practice makes perfect. That's why I don't mind assembling rackets for people sometimes, because now I've done it quite a bit, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. When things pop up that go wrong, I know how to kind of fix them. But mainly it means that when I assemble my own rackets and my tournament racket, my normal racket, I feel confident that I'm doing a good job, that I know kind of how I like it, or at least how I like to do it, right? So I feel confident in my assembly for myself, and I think that matters. And it's fun. And basically, think about this. You can even see these are older rubbers already. This rubber has probably been on at least one blade, maybe two. It's definitely from at least 2 to 3 years ago. 2 years ago at least, right? It's been sitting in a cabinet, so now it's back on another blade. It's back in action. It's ready to play with. And let's weigh it, right? Actually, yeah, let's weigh a couple of these real quick. I don't know where I put that. Or we'll just weigh this one and that one, and then we'll come back to figuring out what to do with that. I don't know. So, do we have a guess? Rakza Z, both sides. Any other guesses from anyone else out there? We got some viewers. Anyone want to guess the weight of this blade before it goes on? I'll give you a hint. The blade is supposed to be like 88 grams. Then most cut rubbers are like 45 to 50 grams each. So it's pretty heavy. I mean, not too heavy. These are moved up a little bit. I'm gonna go with. I won't look at the chat, and just in case Yak will guess, so I won't be piggybacking off his guess again. 89 plus. I'm gonna go with 187. Yeah. Let's see. 187 grams, right? Going once. Going twice. I gotta move it. 181.3. All right. Not my best, not my worst. Overguessed it. These rubbers are probably not as heavy as I'm expecting because they're cut, they're moved up, and they're older, so the sponge is a little drier, and maybe, just maybe, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to guessing. So, that's that one. Oh yeah, we'll do that Yoola Viva real quick. This is Rakza 7 both sides, Yoola Viva. It was pretty light blade with the pips. It was like 156, 157. Now it's got Rakza 7 both sides. It's going to be a little heavier than that, but not, I mean, a decent amount heavier. Let's say 172. Okay, 175.44. So we're getting there. We're getting a little better at guessing them. It's going to take a little while. Some trial and error. I actually, I think the last stream was the first time I ever even weighed any blades. I forgot I had bought the scale to weigh blades. Because I knew I already blown up blades, so you're not going to see me buying any more blades for myself like that. But these Fextra blades, for example, I'm putting together for people, things like that. Let me just save these over here. Let me get these adapters out of here. Make some space. If you see those shoes, I don't know if you care about shoes at all for table tennis, but I'll tell you about them real quick. And you can see a few of these I got real quick because they're kind of neat. Too light, yeah, they're nice. Thank you. So these are Speed Art shoes. I wear these ones for VR. They're a good looking combo. I like this fastening system. You can see they're pretty shiny in the lights here. But I like how they fit on my feet. I have some insoles in there. All right, so that's one pair. But check this out. Here's another pair, different color. Should we weigh the shoes? Let's see. I'm curious. Oh, that's kind of dirty on my scale. But let's see what my shoes weigh. Any guess on the shoe? Oblivion would have guessed on the shoe. Hackle, you're more of a blade guesser, so I'll leave you out of this one. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's going to weigh. Oh, it's still got the case on it, so that's going to matter. More or less than a table tennis racket. More. 334 grams. I don't know if that's a lot for a shoe, not a lot for a shoe. You tell me, but I like these shoes a lot, as you can tell, because I have multiple pairs, right? So I like this fastening system. Sanwei has the same, well, Sanwei used Speed Art's design. They purchased it from them, so they got it, but let me see. Anyway, sorry about the shoe tangent. Not sure if anyone cares about that. Let's get back to the serious business of this Sanwei Fextra and what I'm going to do with this T88 rubber. I'm not sure I have the patience to get all the way through this. I know I've waffled back and forth on that a few times, but let's see. Let's see what we're looking at here. Maybe I'll change strategies. I'll get it as flat as I can like this, and then we'll glue it. Or I do this another time. Let's see if those blue pips will work. It's a reasonable move, maybe. Save the blue pips. Don't throw the blue pips in the bin. It fits pretty well. I think we got to do it. Right? Fextra 7s really go with pips. That's why I like buying these two. I'm going to put the short pips on there eventually, but we're going with the blue sponge. The black and blue. The bruiser. All right? Whatever you want to call it. Let's see it. This one's got glue on the sponge too. So, I mean, there are downsides to this Revolution 3 glue. The ups and downs of live assembly, right? You go from one thing, you move to another, you get sad about it. Now I got glue on this sponge to worry about. But this has got pips, so it doesn't have to be as flat, right? That's my theory. Let me know what you think about that theory, right? Maybe it gives it extra funkiness to have some glue ripples. I don't know if the ITTF's checking for that. We'll see. We'll see how flat it gets. It's kind of the name of the game. Maybe I'll order one of those Neotech brick yellow sponges. And we'll just wait for it to get here. Yeah, this isn't going to work either. Sad days all around. I was really happy. I thought I found a solution. Oh, okay. We're not out of this yet. Like I said, you just kind of, with assembly, you just kind of keep persevering, right? If option A doesn't work, option B. Option B doesn't work, option C. Maybe you give up then. No, I'm just kidding. Option C doesn't work. What do you do? I don't know. So right now I'm just trying to get as many of the parts that aren't flat off without peeling up so much more that I have to just keep going, right? Trying to find a stopping point so we can have a starting point for the gluing. But maybe this combo makes sense because the T88's a slow rubber, it's a controlled rubber, and a long pips player is mostly going to be playing at the table with this setup. Right? I'm not building a chopper setup here. This is like a long pips blocking over the table setup. Then you have this control spinny rubber on the other side. So you twiddle around sometimes. You won't be too caught off guard. But you never know. I mean, the T88 probably won't stay on there that long unless it's real good, which I hope it is. These long pips, who knows what's going on with these long pips? They might not even get on there. Might even never be on there. All right. I don't know. To everyone watching, thank you for listening to my rambling. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I mean, that might work, right? Long pips might not be affected by that little bit of extra glue residue. And I don't want to sit here and pull everything off. Just trying to get it. I don't know. So now we'll change the stream name to watching me remove old glue. It's not the most popular category on YouTube, believe it or not. I did market research, and all the signs pointed to streams focused on removing old glue with your fingers from a table tennis sponge. It's just not hot market right now. Oh, maybe I should have been doing this from the beginning. See, sometimes you gotta roll it off. Sometimes you gotta peel it off, right? So you gotta look. A small glimmer of hope, right? That's like that ray of light you look for when you're peeling off glue. It's like, oh wait, it'll come up like this. That's why when you do the extra layers of glue, like we were talking about, Yakul and I, when you do extra layers of glue, it peels up easier like that. You just kind of start peeling up. Let me see what we're working with here. I think if I can get this line off without causing more problems like that, boom, one. Get these down. I can just glue this one like this. I think it's good. It's good enough. Good enough. Get this glue residue out of here. It's gross. Get out. Get. All right. A little more gluing, right? I promised you gluing, you're getting some more gluing. I think I remember this sponge. This one was like, that's probably too much glue for this one, to be honest. But when you have old glue that's not 100% even, sometimes it's good to put a little extra glue. Let it even it out for you, in theory. All right, so you kind of Make sure you get glue everywhere. Spread the glue around. The art of assembly. Good enough. One second. Hello. My internet went out for a moment. Let me see what the problem is. Am I still streaming? Oh no. Did I lose the stream? That's a bummer. Went out? Okay. I don't know. I think our internet's out. But I have data. Sorry. Anyway, I've put glue on this. I'm gonna... Hi, Crafter and Kita. What's up? I was trying to go to my computer to translate, but I think I just lost internet completely anyway. So sorry, I can't understand your messages exactly, but I'm gonna try to at some point. But if you can say it in English, I'll definitely appreciate it and understand and try and talk with you. Apologies for if there's a bad connection or something. Like I said, my internet's out and I'm using cellular data now to finish this. So we got glue on here, we got glue on here, they're gonna dry. That's probably the extent of the assembly tonight, unless you want me to keep assembling, in which case, you know me, I'll just keep assembling. I'll look for more stuff to assemble. But, okay, well my internet's out, but I was smart enough to have the Major League Table Tennis draft page open before. So Major League Table Tennis had their draft today. Let's talk about some of the teams. All right, so you got Niwa, pretty awesome to get Koki Niwa in MLTT. What do you think about that? You guys know Koki Niwa? So I think Koki Niwa was kind of the big story of the day. Joao Montero is real cool. Robert Gardo's real cool. A lot of good players from Asia that I'm not really all that familiar with a lot of them, but I'm sure their level is really good. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. You know, exciting season 3. Oh, Marcos Madrid. Shout out to Marcos Madrid. He's a cool player. Not from Madrid. He's from Mexico. Cool name. Cool style. Not to roll them down too strongly, but it should be okay. I guess I could have kept fixing this while I was sitting here. Oh, I think my internet's back, or what? No. No. Yep, the Crafter and Kita. For now, I still can't translate because my actual internet's out. I'm on my data. So hopefully you're saying nice things. I appreciate it. Ronaldo and Messi. That's all I can do, right? We gotta wait for this to dry. You can see it's mostly clear here. A little bit of white there. You can still see like a very thin layer of dried glue all over it. This one mostly dry, a little bit wet here, and actually you can see the places where it's still wet are all those kind of, we'll call them borders of where the glue was that I peeled up to that border and tried to leave it smooth. So a little bit extra glue gets caught up in those ridges and doesn't dry quite as quickly as the rest. So hopefully when we put it on, we won't see too much, but there'll be a little bit of an indent there, indent there, indent there, indent there. First drink of the water of the stream, that's pretty good. Went a while like that. Appreciate those 7 viewers out here. I could do 7 push-ups. You wouldn't see me, so we could pretend I did them. I won't say I did them and not do them. That wouldn't be nice. Let's see, can you see? So this mug, took that photo, boys trip, a few hundred years ago in the mountains, prospecting and playing ping pong. Definitely happened. Let me know what you think about it. Just a few of the guys playing ping pong in the mountains in the 1800s. So I have this joola glue over here this whole time, but I didn't use it. Doesn't seem like it's going to be used, so we'll get that out of here for now. We're going to need this. The shoes, don't really need the shoes, but we got the shoes. We got the shoes. We did this one earlier, yasaka, Sweden Extra Rock 7, good Racket. There was some old glue on there, so it's not super smooth, but really, Okay, no, that's the Rakza Z. No wonder it looks good. I was like, what? That looks much better than it did. No. That's the Rakza Z, looking good, looking fresh. On the Yoola Viva, a little bit moundy on the back end here because the old glue on that, but it'll still work fine. It'll be good. My goal with these two is like I've made good usable setups that people can play with of various skill levels, advanced, intermediate, beginners. It'll play well. No problems. Still got a little more to go. Don't give up yet. 3 viewers. All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys. The 3 of you who are here still. Feel free to say hi if you want. My stream's messing up for whatever reason. Well, the reason's because I don't have internet. I'm on the data, but I don't have internet for whatever reason is what I should say. Let's look at the Crocs. You know, if we were going to sit here and focus on a team, I'll talk about the Crocs for a second, and then I'll do this. My fault. Shouldn't have clicked that. The Crocs picked Peiyu Zhu, Chu Wei, Asuka Sakai. Then we got Angel Naranjo, Liam Pitchford, Mark Duran, Daniel Gorak, Andy Pereira. So we kept those 4 guys, pillars of the team, good keeps. Got some new players. Let's see how it goes. Looking good. Feeling fresh. Maybe we're actually better than I give our team credit for, right? I was talking crap about the Crocs, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe we got a good chance. I don't know too much about the female player, or by not knowing too much, I mean I don't know anything about the female player, so maybe that's like a really big pickup. I think she was our first pick, which happened to be in the second round for some reason. And then, yeah, seems definitely potential. I just don't know the players. But hopefully they enjoy their visits to Florida. That's all we can hope for. All right, enough of me talking. Let's put these pips on here. I think they fit perfectly. Of the rubber and where to put it. Always keep it where you can grab it easily, and since I guess I prefer to grab it from there. Very gently on this one. All right, so a little bit too much to the right, a little bit low, but it's no big deal. Not gonna worry about it. Just cut it. So this is like a test paddle anyway. This is my Fextra 7. I'm gonna use it to test different things. Testing out the T88, testing out the long pips. Testing. So yeah, a little bit too much to the right. I guess that should have been a clue, but you can see I lined up this one all the way. I lined that to the middle. You can see there's a little bit of ridges like we talked about where the glue was along that stuff. You can't really tell. And that's in the handle anyway. It's pretty good. Not bad. Not the best, not the worst, right? So we're here. Pretty good, actually, I think. It feels good. Now you got an inverted long pips setup. Let's weigh it real quick. Keep forgetting where I stick the scale. We'll weigh it. This one's for my buddy Hackle, other buddy Oblivion, my weight guessing buddies. Appreciate their participation tonight. Unstable, it says. Oh, it's talking about me or the scale? Drum roll, please. Can you see it? 158, pretty good, pretty light. 2 grams more than that Yoola Viva was with the pips on the one side and the Rakza 7. So just to give you an idea, this rubber is a little heavier than the Rakza 7, I think. Blade slightly heavier than the Yoola Viva. So I think this is good setup. Mostly I think it's good for blocking with the long pips over the table. I'm like counting, but we'll see how the blade works. I'm hoping the blade and this rubber work well together. Then I'll assemble that flared racket I showed you. Let me know if you have any last minute questions before I end the stream. I appreciate everyone being here, watching. Right, so we got the Fextra 7-ply all-wood blade with T88 from Sanwei on the forehand and Yinhe Milky Way Moxa 955 on the backhand. A little bit off, not so bad, right? A little bit off, not so bad. We got our... Not so good, but not terrible. We'll live with it. And then think the star of the show today, the Yasaka Sweden Extra, who shed its T88 rubbers and got its Rakza Z back on there. Rakza Z, very versatile. You can attack, you can control, you can even defend with it a bit, right? On this all-round blade, very good combo. I recommend it. So, those are our rackets for the day. I've still got this extra T88 rubber. I'm going to take the glue off of at some point and put it on something. Got the shoes. Talk about MLTT. I'll bring up the news when Sunrise Table Tennis Club is officially partnered. Still working on it. Try and help promote season 3 of MLTT a bit in our club with some merchandise, with some ticket promotions, getting the word out. We'll see. Maybe I'll go through some of the old events. I'll see if MLTT would be interesting if they let me just I could stream the old events and talk about them. I don't know. It's not one idea I had, but we'll figure that out when it's time. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. All right, 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. I appreciate it. All right, see you guys later.